the Shaman. I'm your host, Shaman Odin Greywolf, here with my co host, Jamie Jette from Stargate Sound Medicine. And today we're going to talk a little bit about the full moon that just passed and whatever else comes up with that. So, without further ado, Jamie, welcome. How are you?
Oh, thank you. And all the best for this coming prosperous, healthy, and wealthy new year for each and everyone who's watching. I'm doing well. It's very interesting. Anybody that is on, I'm telling myself, anybody that's one of your subscribers knows the power of the moon. And so just experiencing this last super moon, which is the first of the year. And in reality, for me, time is just a continuum. So in the 3D, we have the new year. But
Right.
it's really interesting how anybody who is your subscriber knows how powerful the moon is. And scientifically, I'm sure that they could all tell us how and why it does. But that's not my bailiwick. My wheelhouse is to just learn as much as I can to navigate the energies, if you will, that are magnified or risen like the tide with the supermoon. So, with that said, yeah, I really look forward to diving in and learning more from you. So, what
All
you
right.
got?
Well, it's really funny this full moon. I kind of almost didn't notice it until I was making incense and I'm just in this total relaxed state, you know. My mind was calm, my body was calm, my house was quiet, and I'm just sitting there rolling these incense and listening to affirmations. And they go, "Oh yeah, tonight's the full moon." Like, whoa. So it kind of came over me like that. And ever since it's happened, I've been feeling like usually I do my morning routine, right? And I stay in the astrology only for the present. There was a purpose for that. My purpose was the whole time I was roommating with people, I wanted to stay in the present because I was already too worried about what's coming next. Where am I going? Where am I heading? So, but with this new supermoon that came in, I started getting the downloads to it's time to start planning ahead. Go back to something I do with the moon is called the Druid Lunar Walk. So we start like 3 days before new moon, and I'll chart out all the transitions every 2 days of the moon from the new moon on. And it's really interesting because I was telling somebody last night I did their birth chart reading for them, and when she was picking it up, I was telling her about the moon. Now, you can't do this lunar walk more than 3 months and stay sane because it's really interesting. The moon is connected to our unconscious mind and the collective unconscious of the world, right? So it gets to be a little like Groundhog Day after 3 months. You're like, this is going to happen right now. Boom, it happens. And it's really so I'm gonna start it again, but I'll do a 3 month session and then take 3 months off, 3 months again. But I'm really interested to see. I've got really strong work energy, like getting down to the gritty, going to school. I was doing that birth chart. I haven't done a birth chart for a client in a while, but I finished it all up in just a couple of hours, no problem. It's almost like this moon brought in the work ethic, the calmness, and the perseverance to get things done. So I'm really excited for this year.
Yeah, good for you. For myself, and I'd be interested if anybody can comment in the comments. It was highly emotional. I'm just coming on the backside of the emotional wave, if you will. Um, but perhaps I'm really attributing it to the supermoon and the moon that was so brilliant,
Yeah.
filled with so much energy that somehow, and perhaps it's because I'm a Pisces, I could name all these labels and layers of what I think it would be, but it's very, um, a very high uh, motion
Yeah.
of oceans. And so with that, I I don't I don't really enjoy that. I'm I like to be a lot more grounded as opposed to wallowing in the sea of emotions, because it's almost like they're like pieces of driftwood for me. They come by and it's moving so fast that I can't grasp on to one piece of driftwood. It's and I'm not floundering and I'm not treading water and I'm not drowning. It's just really undescribable.
Yeah.
So this morning when I was thinking about all these emotions and that little vapor that comes in like smoke, that conscious level that it's to me, I'm there. No, no, no. It's for me. It's for me. It's with me. Somehow I am a magnet for this. Why is this? So this morning I was able to journal that I can see this a little more clearer now. The seas of the emotions are calming down. Why? Because the moon is moving farther away.
Yeah.
And I know I belong to a really amazing group of women that I rarely allow myself to go to, the Daughters of Light, but they are really steeped into the study of the moon. Whereas I'm just a spiritual girl, I like to go, but every time I do, I experience a bliss. So if you could, John, explain what happens with the moon now that it's been a super moon and it's on the other side. What are we to expect until the 18th, where the new moon happens? Could you kind of explain that backside?
Yeah. So right now we're in waning gibbous, right? So the full moon is the heightened peak of sensitivity. And this one, because it was in Gemini and Cancer the day of full moon. So it was very watery. You're not the first one, the only one to say that. A lot of people I noticed had the emotion at a heightened peak. But now you'll start to notice things shedding away. So it's not, it's kind of, it's energetic. You'll feel as if things that were important to you, now that these emotions have peaked in you, you'll feel like they're just getting less and less important. And you're going to start tuning into a inner drive. And by the third quarter, everything should have fallen. We call it fallen from the tree. So how we describe the moon, especially in the Druid lunar year or lunar walk, is imagining growing a fruit tree. And so full moon, it's harvest. That's when you want to pick the fruits. And they're not starting to go over ripened yet. They're full of juice and they're ready to squeeze. And then as it gets to the third quarter, you should have shed enough to fertilize your own growth. And then from third quarter to new moon, you get to like, okay, this is what I want to do now. This is where I'm going, this direction. And then the new moon will incubate that and germinate the seeds, if you will. So
Yeah.
you should notice that a lot of these emotions will shed, and you're like, you know what? I'm glad I experienced that. I'm really glad I felt those ways. Thank you, like you always say, thank you for coming, and I'm glad to see you go.
Hi, Cheryl. Yeah, it's very interesting that it was Saturday and now it's Tuesday, and it is. So that's why um, I really believe as as a privileged human,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to say it,
Yeah.
a privileged human being to be here it it would behoove me and behoove others to learn about our galaxy, to learn more.
Mm,
Yesterday, I experienced something after Life Reflection Cafe. I walked out to take the coffee cups and the coffee, and there was this man with a red um, coat, if you will, and it was red. And he was putting something up above, and it was a picture of the galaxy. And then underneath, it was an eagle upside down. And so one of the elders from Life Reflection said, "Wow, can we ask what you're doing?" And he turned, and Johnny had all these tattoos on his face, the Egyptian one eye, I mean, everything. And his hands were loaded. And he had this big gold jewel. And he said, "I am communicating with the sun. Um, I'm communicating, and I am," but he says, "Why is everything upside down?" And the man said, "It's because I believe that the universe, this is how they see us. So
yeah.
I want them to see us uh, in their perspective," which I thought was really interesting. That, and I've been thinking about it for a long time. I didn't tell you about it yesterday, but I was thinking this person could almost be like a galactic being, and
Yeah.
how it would respond. So is it good that we don't have studies about the galactic or the galaxy too much? That this person, in his brilliant mind, was, from me, so far advanced that I thought, now what if he was an alien, or one of the different species from the different planets,
Or an
right?
ambassador.
And I just kept walking away. I don't know. It was just really interesting that this moon and this energy is really making a transformation for so many.
Yeah. It's funny you say that, because I totally believe in that stuff. I've had like ambassadors or people, strange phenomenons. There was a time at my old house when I saw aliens come right up to me, and I was terrified, even though they were little. But for a few months after that, when I would go on walks, this one particular time, I was walking, I got a little tired. I was underneath the bridge on this road. So I'm leaning up against the wall, and this man just appeared. He walked through nothing and asked me if I was all right. And I'm like, and believe me, I was sober as a priest at this time too. And I'm going, yeah, I'm fine. Where'd you come from, man? And he just kept walking this way, and then he was gone. Now, I didn't tell a lot of people about that because, schizophrenic delusions. I didn't want to hear it, right? But sometimes ambassadors show up in the strangest places when portals are opened, and they're there for exactly, they don't even have to tell you anything. It's like energetically receiving a message that will unfold in your mind after, ooh, I'm chilling all over. So that's probably what happened. I got tingles all over. So he
Yeah.
probably passed you an energetic message because, I mean, yeah, bright red shirt, tattoos all over the face, right? Somebody
But
you'd
it was
notice.
a coat. It was a coat, and he had Birkenstocks on. And the way he was precariously, he had turned his U-Haul into what he called a temple. But he was creating or connecting to something that I could see the sun. We all could see the sun, but
Yeah.
somehow there was a language, and I don't know if he was. That's why he had these tats and these signs, and he said underneath the gold jewel, and it was reflective of the sun. Crazy.
Yeah.
He said the message was written upside down too, so that the when you look at from the space view, it looks different. The perspective is different. So they don't see the top of our heads. He turned everything around. So I thought that was really kind of interesting. But um, getting back to the moon, yeah, I'm telling myself, and it's all over YouTube, that there are so many different messages coming right now.
Yeah. Yeah. I was getting a lot of messages between YouTube and just kind of like I just had affirmations playing for the last 2 days as I was calmly doing things, researching, writing. But things were coming to me that were saying, slow it down, don't worry right now, don't post. Because there had been, let's see, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Sunday and Monday, I was going to work on my two channels. I was going to do some tarot readings for the other channel, and I was going to do some astrology stuff for this channel. And every time I sat down, I got this inner voice saying, it's not important right now. And I'm like, okay. So, and I would just sit here, tarot cards in hand, and I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? And
I
I
am
just,
I unplugged as well. There's so many when I finally came back online. I think I had like 72 texts. And I had to, I verbally said to people, I apologize, but I just unplugged. There was so much emotion in the ocean that I just said, no, I really just need this space um, to listen.
yeah,
I just wanted to listen, and it wasn't, I didn't want to read it. I wanted to listen.
yeah.
So I thought
Well,
it was,
I know you're very empathic, and I am too. And it is empathic people are connected to the moon, and that's probably why Daughters of Light is so observant of the moon. So for it used to drive me nuts too, and especially not knowing why I was feeling things and believing they were my things, right? And then when I came to the realization that, oh, empaths, I'm absorbing others, I still was skeptical. I'm like, how vain is that of me to say that I'm feeling this way because of this person? So I would always, this is where my non bias reasoning comes from. I'll have skepticism just because I don't like to push blame on others or give others too much power over myself. But the one thing I've found is empathic people are extremely dialed in with the moon. So what helped me was learning the nakshatras, the lunar mansions, the 29 nakshatras, right, of Vedic astrology, and how every 2 days, because all I knew before of the Druid lunar walk, my grandpa was in prison and we were riding back and forth and I was visiting him and he said, hey son, you want to learn how to make moonshine? And I'm like, well, yeah. So he taught me about this druid lunar walk to where every 2 days you see what phase the moon's in and you speak it into your whiskey barrel and ferment and all this process, right? But then when I started doing that when I was catching on to empathic abilities. I started moonshining again, and it helped me actually stop drinking alcohol because, like my grandpa taught me, it puts distance between you and your addiction. But as I was doing this, I was working with the shaman. He was teaching me about nakshatras. And when he told me there were lunar mansions, and I told him that my grandfather taught me how to moonshine and this is the process, he goes, those are the old soma rituals. Nobody practices those for 2,500 years. He's like, how did your grandpa know this? I said, I don't know, he's a hillbilly, knows how to moonshine. So he taught me how to align them not only with the zodiac houses, but every 2 days align yourself with the nakshatra, the zodiac, and how you feel, and watch the story unfold. So when I start doing this lunar walk, I look ahead, right? I've been in the present right now So I've been literally, this is how I feel today. Oh my God, why do I feel this? What's going on? But when you do it ahead of time, you're actually you're kind of bulletproof. You know, if there's negative emotions, you are already consciously aware of it. So without doing anything, just being consciously aware of it kind of protects you and gives you a power to not only hold yourself together, but help others. You see them going through something, you're like, look, this is all just a part of the moon. And so empathic people, we do. Every 2 days, we feel different emotions. And it is from our environment, our collective medias, our collective radio stations, work employees. And you're like a sponge. You just absorb all of this stuff. And then you're sitting there, and then that full moon comes, and it's a super moon, and it's in Cancer, the home of Phillies. And it's like, ah, right?
Uh, Having the knowledge and the awareness for a lot of us, a lot of people like myself, um, maybe a circle or something that it allows us for during the month to support. And don't think I'm not going to go find out where the next supermoon is, because I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to buckle down. I don't want to. I just have to radiate more light, if you will. But I'm thinking uh, of I don't have to be in a canoe. I can be in a big steamer
Yes.
to handle the waves of emotion. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Because I'm telling myself the emotions are okay, but it was really troubling for me because I really, wait a minute, I've had I've had the most amazing year. I've met
Yeah.
the most amazing people that are in my life. I have love beyond description. What? And the water kept pouring into my little canoe because they didn't realize. Now I shall pay attention. Realize that the moon does have such an effect on this in this body of water labeled Jamie.
You
Wow.
know, it's funny. A lot of people do rituals on the new and full moon. And a long time ago, well, let's see. Yeah, about five years ago, I had people that we just didn't get along. And every time they would do a ritual, I would see it in my mind. And I would make a video about it. Hey, did you guys do this, and that? I saw you, and it didn't work. And it would freak people out. So, also, you can turn it from emotions into psychic activity. Like the last few days, too. That's one thing I didn't mention. Because I was putting my hands to work, I wrote some more in my book, the Goetia book I've been writing. And I wrote, wow, I wrote and wrote and wrote. And then I realized, oh my God, so many hours went by and I just was flowing. But as I was doing that, I was receiving channeled messages. I could hear and see people in my mind. My dreams have been super, super vivid. I even had this one in particular. I was with some kids fishing, and they were religious kids. And so I said to them, they were talking about Jesus. And I'm like, you know Jesus, right? And I told them he was a Buddha. He was an awakened individual, kind of like myself. And we started talking about how the metaphysical world, what being tapped into God was. Anyways, really vivid dreams and psychic energy. I've been for the last few days, I can sense somebody before they call or text. And I'm having dreams where I'm seeing people, we're interacting a lot deeper. So you can turn them into psychic powers. It's just learning to get that empathy in tune And I could show you. I'm gonna start doing it anyways, so I'll show you how to do the lunar transitions.
Yeah, that would be nice because I'm telling myself we're just two people on this little box. However, I'm believing that there is hundreds and hundreds of people that I don't want. The answers are not on social media. The
No,
answers are not on the news. The answers are not on the radio. The answers are all the way within. If I when I relax into it. So, yeah, it would be really nice to maybe start something because you're so educated with this stuff,
mm,
which is great for a lot of us on this side. Um, of the on new on the path, if you will.
yeah,
Even though we've been on the damn path, but blindfolded, if you can. I mean, I've been blindfolded. Anyway, um, yeah, it would be nice to be able to navigate. I'm all about navigating. I really want um I keep seeing the visions of the wheel, the wheel of a ship, so much so that I'm drawing them. They're everywhere. They're everywhere. So I'm
that's
like,
your
okay,
captain.
huh?
That that's your captain coming to you. That's okay. So now it is time for you to learn the lunar wheel and the zodiac wheel. I could put it in a very simple form. It doesn't have to be super crazy astrology. You can use just the moon. But I'll show you. That's because that's the sign. That's the sign. The Nordic compass, the directional compass, the helm, or is that the helm? What's it called? The mast, right?
It's definitely called a steering. It's called the wheel. It
Yeah,
definitely is. Bob and I looked it up. He says, "Oh, you mean the helm?" I said, "No, that's not it. It's in the helm."
yeah, yeah. And then
So,
there's the Dharma wheel. So in Buddhism, the same symbol, the Dharma wheel, it's the wheel of incarnation, but they do the same thing. It's the 8 directions of Bagua. So when you start seeing the compass or the wheel, it's time to tune into the higher worlds. The celestials is what we call it.
well, let me tell you, when the full moon is out or the sun is out, I get to do that. I really, what a treat. It's almost like, and I know this is really going to sound crazy for my friends who are listening, because I'm really coming out of the closet with a lot of things. Um, one is that I love to have conversation with the, I know that sounds crazy, forgive me, but I really have conversations in the beauty and I don't understand, but just know that it's almost like I'm, I have no fear.
Yeah,
Let me repeat that. I have no fear allowing the exchange of that magnificent energy to move through me.
yeah, exactly. So you know what? It's not crazy, Jamie. I like my alone time because I talk to they don't always give me a name, but I talk to them. I talk to the spirits, I talk to the other worlds, I talk to my angels, I talk to my ancestors, I talk to my family who's dead. I talk to my friends and family who are alive right now. And sometimes it's not always out loud verbal, but it's when I'm taking my time alone, like I've had the last 3 days to myself here, right? This is kind of what shamans do. We need those few days alone to just be in that cycle of spirit. And, you see the illusions, what they call illusions, the spirits come out. I could call it an illusion if they didn't tell me truths. If they didn't tell me truths, then it would be an illusion. If they were lying to me, telling me crazy things, then that's when I would say, okay, well, I better go see a doctor. But so it's not crazy. It's actually the most educated thing you can do is to talk, even if you call it like Albert Einstein called it, talking with myself. If you want to call it talking to yourself, that's fine too. This is the best way to cycle our conscious and unconscious mind to come up with all of our greatest ideas and to soothe the body.
Well, let me tell you, I have no problem. And thank goodness that the universe brought me the most amazing man. Um, every day, I'm just so blessed to have this human being, which I really think we were twins back in the 1400s. And that's another conversation. That
Yeah,
I can talk to the clouds. I can talk to everything. He doesn't make fun of me. It's so nice. That's why I think it's really important to be around tribe. You guys don't, sorry, see the emotions are coming. You guys don't, you don't look at me with peculiar eyes. You just are, you see me. You
yeah,
see this thing right now, this whole month of being seen for whom I really am. And I'm just you. I'm just, um, I'm everything in all. So anyway, I hope awesome that I can talk to the clouds. And let me tell you, I'm talking beyond because I know that those that energy can hear me. I'm assured as I am sitting here and no, I don't belong in a loony bed.
no,
I just am so joyful. That's my word for 2026. Maybe it came in with the super moon is joy. So it's these are happy tears. They're
yeah,
not they're not uh, sad tears. These are tears of blissfulness, if you will. But yeah, I have no problem. I have discovered too. There's different ways of channeling,
mm,
and the way I've been channeling it. Don't ask me. I even told Bob I don't understand why I chant in a language I don't understand. I'm just chanting, but I know I'm communicating somehow. I don't know what I'm saying, but there's a kind of a softness.
yeah,
There's you can feel the presence of strength, shelter, um, comfort, if you will. There's just a lot of different feelings all in once, kind of like uh, a feeling, a cocktail of feelings.
yeah.
But anyway, yeah, I really do. I think it's important now going forward that we really help each other learn
Mhm.
um, that it's okay. It's okay to go back to the old ways. We've come a long way. We're now in an evolution of this amazing consciousness and this dynamic, loving heart to tap in now with the evolution and go back and revisit some of those that have been brushed under the carpet as witchcraft, psychic, clairvoyant, all those words, those taboo words
Right?
that really um, it's almost as if it's empowering for us when we remember, when we make the realization because we can recognize it. So I really want to step out of the um, conditioning and decondition, work
Well,
on
that's
that, work on that, and supporting as many people as we go along this path to say it's okay to not have that belief that it's weird.
yeah. And it's okay to be weird, like it's weird in the Old Norse. It's pronounced weird, right? And it stands for a magical occurrence. So you know how when you see something strange, you're like, huh, that's weird. Well, that's where it comes from. Old Norse magic would happen, and they're like, that's weird. So it became one of the runes too, and it means the unlimited possibility to create anything you want. Um, and the language you're talking about, that's pure light language. I do it too. I do it when I'm alone in my car. Sometimes I'll even giggle at myself. I'm like, what the hell was that? But I know what you're talking about, the sensations when it comes through. I believe our light languages are going inside of us, and they're kind of gyrating our cells to break free stagnant stuff in between them. Because even right now, as we're talking about light languages, that's what I feel. I feel my cells kind of gyrating, and it feels this electric, if you will, buzzing coming off of our body. So it's really healthy for us to do.
Yeah.
And like Cheryl even said, um, I don't know what sati means, but all the time she was the weird one in New Jersey, but she's accepted here. And we are like, I'm grateful to have you guys as tribe. Me and my brother here, Holy Moly and Crash, like we all get each other. My brother talks to spirit like you wouldn't believe. I know Crash gets his information from other dimensions as well. Not Satu. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, say. Okay. But what does it mean when you say, I laugh because I'm different? They laugh because they're the same. Can you explain to me? Okay, so if you laugh because I'm different, that's just more of an acceptance laugh. Like when you accept yourself, things are so humorous, and not in a negative humorous way, like a wow, I really dig myself. I really dig that I'm this type of person. And when you're laughing at people who are the same, I try not to do. I try to understand that I was there. Like we get caught in these hamster wheels, and everybody's running and generating energy for the group or the job or the politics or and they don't know. Nobody, like that's my brother there, Brandon. They don't have like an open-minded Native American father or a mother who used to tell us that you could talk to spirit anywhere in the universe. And a lot of people were brought up to conform. Don't be original. Don't let your mind freely think. That's crazy. Something's wrong with you. And yeah, squirrel mentality, you know, being
It's
the same.
I really believe it's they discovered somewhere thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago and beyond that they discovered something that the human here experiences, and that's fear.
Yeah.
And so when we eliminate or say, "Ew, that is a tool that doesn't," because our bodies are antennas, man. I'm telling you. Uh, And I don't know how that scientific stuff works, but I know it's somehow. Oh, I just lost my train of thought. So when we when we get to that point of, well, I was going to say something. It's like four things I wanted to say. First of all, I want to say when people laugh at you, that's okay, because I laugh at people when I identify.
Yeah.
I laugh at you when I identify. But yeah, we're tuned in. We're antennas. So that's it. Releasing the fear. I'm going to tune in to the beauty, just like they didn't have back in the day. They had this mind, and they were still evolving. But we are the new meta-human. We are the evolution. We are the ones that are here in 2026
Hmm.
to the degree that we A, remember, um, B, recognize, C, and make the realization that
Hmm.
we are co-creating, that we don't, that the fear is a creator as well. However, when you flip that coin and you co-create with the opposite of fear, let's just say trust, faith. I mean, I can give you a layer on the onion of what works opposite of fear.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, it is so, you can see in this physical reality that we see in our eyes in this 3D, the weird. Say the word. I like the way you say that, the weird.
Weird.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah, yeah. That's what it is. It's magic.
Yeah.
And it's magic. It's taboo. It's witchcraft, abracadabra. It is phenomenal in my
Well,
eyes. So label it what you want, but either you could keep trying on the different coats of the words you want to say it as, but
right?
that just right, like last week, once you find that just right coat or cape
Yeah.
to soar or fly, man, I just say and it is coming with messages loud and clear, the infinite possibilities and the infinite potential. Let's just stop right here and stop for 1 millisecond here and think just for a second back when it was the caveman.
Mm,
And then somebody thought it was weird that they took two sticks to rub together and made fire.
right.
That is how the evolution has come. So now we take all that, go back up to here right now, today, January 6th, 2026, with all that evolution inside our DNA and all that's in this atmosphere and coming in. Wow, I mean,
Mm.
that's
We're
all I could
definitely
tell.
we're definitely in the age of Aquarius where it's like open spirit is open again. So there's kind of a theme with astrologers. We look back in time, and before Pisces, they worshiped the ram, right? So in those times, it was more open magic, right? But it was kind of more grounded magic. That's what the bull or the ram stood for, because it was Aries. Then we transitioned into Pisces, and it's not so much that the religions, they just harnessed the spirit by putting the two fish in a fish bowl, right? So they trapped the fish in the fish bowl to have control of them. And now that we're in Aquarius, they're dumping the bowl spirit back onto the land. That's like what etherically is going on. It's kind of it all goes in a cycle. If you know the zodiac wheel, we go backwards from Taurus, the bull. They worship the bull in Taurus. And then when the ram came, Aries, they had to eliminate everybody who worshiped the bull. Well, back then they had different kind of mindsets. It just wiped everybody out. And then when Pisces came, it was about, containing the magics of, that's why Jesus, he wasn't a religious figure. He knew the magic of spirit in all things, right? So he was a bodhisattva, Buddhist teacher, Buddha. But the religions wanted to harness that for themselves. And that gave us the oppression we needed to like build this tension. So now that they're dumping the water back out, we can fully dive into this open connection to spirit, knowing that things are channeled, that we have more dimensions than we can even fathom. And it's just a transition period, but it's just the beginning. We are all walking into what we were meant to be.
Oh my God, how fun. And with that, can you pull us a card maybe from the galactic? Do you have a moon deck or something like that?
You know what? I have I have Buddhism. Yeah, I'll pull from this Buddhism deck because it's kind of this Shakti power. Shakti is the moon power. It's the moon energy, the
Great,
feminine.
thank you. Thank you.
Of course. Let's see what we got here. So just everybody watching and Jamie, just go ahead and kind of focus on a question or something that you would like to receive an answer for. Hmm. I haven't used these in a minute. These are my favorite card. All right, here we go. Okay. The skull cap of the inner offering. Giving creates a flow of health and love. Let me pull up the message for that, and then I'll read it as I hold it up for you guys. Okay, let's see. Here's the skull cap. Now, with these specific oracle cards, these are actual Buddhist paintings that they sit and meditate upon. So just let your eyes gaze into this card as I read the skull cup of the inner offering. The inner offering is a heavy symbolic offering visualized in the highest tantric practices of Tibet Buddhism. It is a symbol of the work needed to transform the mind to overcome the illusions of your life. What we think life is, what we think is good, desirable, or normal, and anything else that obscures the truth and the ability to reach enlightenment. A cup made of a human skull rests on three heads representing the past, present, and future time, and also the practitioner's body, speech, and mind that are purified with the spiritual practice. The single fissure at the front of the skull cup represents the fact that we need both method and wisdom to reach enlightenment. The tried and true teachings and writings of all the practitioners before us, and the cultivation of our intellect. On either side of the skull cup, beyond the frame, are two nectar-filled vases with a sandalwood pole topped with yak tails. Victory flags flutter in the wind from each pole, stirred up by the flames below the skull cap. This card represents a celebration. It's not so easy to overcome our conditioning and the ways of the world. The flame also indicates the intense focus on practice that builds up the heat in the human energetic system. Fire flares up from that heat, melting and boiling all the products of human existence and life in the world, including the five waste products of the human body, transforming them into an elixir called Amrita. When spiritual practice bears fruit, the body energies dissolve and move up the central channel. This is symbolized by the white syllable Ah above the skull cap. The fire of intense practice burns away all impurities in the heart, body, and mind. It opens the central channel, and the energy now awakened and enlivened pierces through the chakra to bring enlightenment. So I like how this card mentioned getting over, it's not easy to overcome our conditioning of the world, because that's a lot what we've been talking about. So if this card resonated to you, you have been working at letting go, shedding, if you will, the traps and bonds that people have put on you. Not so much people as our society. And we really can't blame them. We can't blame the society either, because you needed all of those conditionings to cook you, like the card says. And then once that kettle was ready and that whistle blew, you knew that you were enlivened. Like we were talking about the tingling radiation. That's how you can tell when all your chakras are in a line. Your body will tingle in these strange sensations. So, did that resonate for you?
Boy, it sure resonated. And the best part for me, apparently, because I know in my DNA, I've got a lot of commander, warrior um, in me, my soul. And it was the victorious ribbons waving that I just went, yes.
That's right. Yeah. Like my old friend used to say, fly those freak flags. The more you can act in your authority and be yourself, the more your needs Absolutely, Cheryl. And let's see what you put here. Remember that help is available within you and all around you or around you. Slow down, listen to your intuition, and act upon it. This allows your soul led, empowered life to flow more easily. Yeah, that really is true.
Yeah. Thank you,
Shedding
Cheryl.
hands. It is. And it's the number one, it's the simplest thing. And we'll chase around spiritual practices and teachings and this guru and this and that. But really, that's what it boils down to. Slow down, listen to your inner voice, trust that inner voice. You know how many times that inner voice has kept me safe, especially like when I was young and I hung out with, troublemakers. I listened to my internal voice and it saved my life many times. So I always know to trust that. Go up one more comment. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
today's moon, Saturn energy is all about self-acceptance, personal responsibility, letting self-doubt fade away, allow old emotional pain to fall away. Motivating momentum is strong. Yeah, that's what we were talking about, the waning gibbous, letting some
Yeah.
of that stuff shed and taking responsibility. I was talking with Cheryl these past couple of days too, and both of us, she's gotten she's gotten a lot of work done in her studies and courses. She's got some chapters. And I was, like I said, I was writing, I was doing a birth chart for a client, getting things ready for school, making incense. Like this Capricorn type energy is what I feel, to be honest with you. Capricorn's all about doing the work, building your finances, getting your responsibilities, but in such a peaceful, free flowing, fun energy. It's been really nice.
Yeah. Um, I had an epiphany this morning because I've been dealing a lot of energy with family. I'm just going to say it. And my dad, who um, come to find out may not be my biological dad, and that was a tough pill to swallow when I was 53. Um, for me, he's always been my dad, my hero. It's with little girls, I guess. And I've noticed lately, uh, it's almost like that's why I keep coming to you guys. I'm not being seen. Well, I had that conscience. It was to me. Why is he picking on me? I'm gonna call my brother. Why did he return my Christmas present? Just yesterday when I said, wow, we had our 3-year anniversary for Life Reflection Cafe. It's a circle to support people. And sometimes we just sit in the silence and kind of trip out on the beauty of the love that you can feel. But the first thing out of this man's mouth was, well, what makes you an expert to facilitate a group of people for 3 years? I didn't know what to say. I was just like, Dad, I'm not an expert. I am just a human being like you. And
Yeah.
I just listen to a call that I really want to be of service to help people. I was really upset about it, John, much so that even Bob, the love of my life, had said, yeah, that was kind of cruel. So when I journaled this morning, and I've been up 2 o'clock, it wakes you up. That monkey mind starts going. And like Cheryl said, it's go within, stop self doubting. And then I had a realization. I write every single day my gratitude of being the vessel of love for whoever journey might need it, whether it's a millisecond or not. And
Yeah.
it dawned on me. I said, wait a minute, CSO, Chief Spiritual Officer. I just realized I keep saying thank you for being the vessel. Perhaps this is my dad's way of pushing me away because he is 88 and he knows I'm highly emotional. I'm a love bug. I radiate
Hmm.
um, just joy. when I am in it.
Yeah.
Um, it dawned on me, maybe he's acting these peculiar way because still my hero is knowing that when that day comes, as tough as a MF I think I am,
Yeah.
I may not be. So it all of a sudden was a shift that I took responsibility because I said, what is it? What, how, why? But then I took responsibility and said, wait a minute, I'm the vessel. I didn't choose who I was going to be part of their journey. I didn't make that decision. I just say, use me.
Yeah.
Use me with ease and grace. And yet it doesn't matter that it was my dad. So I thought it was beautiful
Yeah.
that that epiphany happened. So now I don't have to take it personal. Don Miguel Ruiz rule number, agreement number 2. It's not about me.
Right.
And the agreement that's been my struggle. Darn it.
Well,
Um,
and like you said, realizing that he is getting older in age, and maybe it was his way of pushing. That's it. That's actually what compassion means. Compassion means we see a different reason than taking it personal, and we understand maybe this is coming from somewhere else, and that's a hard practice. I mean, it's not a hard practice now, but oh my gosh, when I was going through it, trying to just have compassion for everyone, and the attacks you would get just for being there, and you're like, whoa. And I'm telling myself, okay, I know. And when you know a little bit about psychology and just all this esoteric knowledge, astrology, knowing how to read people, and you can see that they're coming from these places of hurt, but you're at the same time getting hurt because hurt people, and you're just going, it does. It's like you got to take a step back, and I have compassion for your situation. I understand this, but that did hurt me too. And I'm human being too. It's
I'm turning it around and saying thank you. Right away, because I'm all about gratitude and love. And as painful as things are and appear to be in our lives, everything, John, up until this point has um, created a space so that I can hold space. And
yeah,
I love doing that. I would pay to do that. But it was when it's your own, when it's so close to the conditioning, and you're like, it doesn't matter. And then I saw it. I guess you just change your perspective. I don't know, but it feels better, and now it's a little softer because this man has been my everything
yeah,
since I was a little girl. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't even know you signed up on the other side to accompany me.
right, right. And then too, like the older age, still the ones that are back from the Piscean, there is a lot of that. Well, you need to be an expert type energy still lingering in the environment. But I find as soon as I call myself an expert at anything, I lose the joy of it, you know? So having that open mind is about being fluid, and understanding that expertism. What's an expert if everything in those every single thing we can imagine here on this universe is a point of view? It's either a point of view or a perspective or an imagination, and every single different person can see it in a different way. Like I was telling my brother, there was one time me, my dad, and his friend were ninja fishing, and it's where we sneak on the golf courses and fish at night. But we stopped at a gas station, and there was a man throwing up outside of his car, And my dad's friend's like, "What are you doing?" Well, the man pulled a gun on us, right? Long story short, when the police came, each one, me, my dad, and my dad's friend, all had three different descriptions of the man who pulled the gun on us. So, understanding that kind of mentality, it helps you see that everything in this universe is just a matter of your perspective and how you see it. So don't bind yourself to trying to be an expert. That's only going to frustrate you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the great comments. I'm reading as we go. I think George said he was um, being thankful for his bills. Booyah!
Right.
And it's an experiment. Remember, we're living in a petri dish to a certain degree. So it's just all an experiment. So good for you, George. And thanks, Holy Moly, and Cheryl. These comments really mean the world to what John and I and our tribe are seeing. So thank you so much for the shares. I can't respond because I'll lose y'all. So I put a thumbs up. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I'm looking too. What we got, and the card just kept that theme. Okay, I lost that back then, but
We can go through it, but
the more you can act in your authority and be yourself, the more your needs. Okay, that's where we left off. The card kept that theme. And then Brandon Holy Moly said, you can learn a lot by reading the book Machiavelli if you read it correctly. Yeah. Um, I've only listened to it on audiobook. And so when I listen to them on audiobook, they don't stick very well. But I might check it out again. George said, great book. We are being told to release familial pain with this moon.
oh,
Absolutely.
thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah. Thank you for that one. And then holy moly again, there's conditional love and then there's real love. It's whatever you're operating out of tells who you are. Yeah, absolutely. Conditional love is I'll love you as long as you do this for me, or as long as you behave this way for me, or as long as you stay within these fine lines, I will love you. Step outside of those lines, and you are now in trouble, or you are now a bad person, or you are now my enemy. That's what conditional love means. And then real love is like the love for a mother. Let's just, for a moment, we'll talk about this. Let's say Charles Manson, right? He had a mother. And yeah, she knew he was a terrible man, right? But she loved him. That's unconditional love, where, they love that. That's a mother's love for a child. You probably, now, a shaman used to tell me this, and it stuck in my head for forever. The only unconditional love on this planet in your lifetime you will ever receive is from your mother. It may not always be the best of love. She may be arrogant or mean, or I don't know. There may be projections, but at a core, a mother has a connection to their children that is unmarkable by any standards. So he told me that when you're searching for love, don't expect to find your mother because you'll never find it. And
Thank
then
you. I have that book. I just haven't ever opened it. So maybe it's the time. Thank you for sending the message. I don't know who Ganesha 24 is, but thank you. So anyway, wow. Welcome,
oh
welcome, welcome. 2026, 2027. I'm going up for the next 8 years. Just saying.
yeah. Well, yeah, we've got we're on a 1 year now, so it's a 9 year cycle. And we're at the beginning. So this is all free and clear, open ground. Create whatever you want. Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for tuning in. And thank you, Ganesha24. Must be new to our channel. And thank you for tuning in. What book did you recommend?
Um,
Ramana Maharishi.
yeah,
Maharshi. Okay. Thank you for that. I'll check that out.
yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Well, thank you for your time, Jamie, and tell Bob I said hello, and thank him for allowing you to be that reader that you are, that mystic. That's
Yeah. Of
beautiful.
course, I'm a stubborn ox. I don't think he has the choice, but oh wait, he does. I didn't say that. Shh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So much for joining us. I really, really look forward to this unfoldment together. We're in this together, man.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check out our sponsors, unitedwellness.com, Stargate Medicine, or just
StargateMedicine.com.
stargatemedicine.com, and thenaturalcloset.com and shamangraywolf.com. If you want like astrology readings or a tarot reading, we can book them through there. And go to our Facebook pages, Stargate Sound Medicine on Facebook, The Natural Closet on Facebook, and Shaman Grey Wolf, I believe, on Facebook. It's my own page. I don't even know it. Lots of great stuff there. Natural Closet has amazing products. And you know what? Stargate Sound Medicine, it is well worth the $55 to go and get a healing sound bath from these ladies. It is, you're getting a tuned in version of somebody playing their instruments and creating this spiritual vortex at their sacred space, Shangri La. So when I'm there, I can channel into a deep meditation place and I can soar. I go through different lifetimes. I find realizations. I see things that are still in my body, like where certain areas of your body they hold even past life traumas. Past life traumas are strange because you know you didn't live that in this life, but you know you're suffering from it, right? But it takes a good sound healer to put you in a trance to be able to navigate your inner universe and find these things. So check them out. Book your session now, and I'll see you guys next time. All right. Thank you, Jamie.
You,
Take care.
John. Thank you, everyone.
Absolutely. Take care, guys. And